news you wanted to talk about today?
Uh, Not really. Not well. I mean, there's just a couple things. But Cyberpunk. I don't know if you heard, but they came out. They actually had an apology video, and then I think I saw the description, and they said that the the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 version upgrade, whatever, is going to come out the second half of this year. Oh my god! I promise you, no one's gonna. Okay, there might be some people, obviously, but for the most part, no one's gonna. People will be like, Cyberpunk? No, it's an old game.
An old game. How long's it been out? Oh, less than a year. It's old.
Hey man, like I mean, especially with games like that, like how bad of a start that game was for console. I'm just saying that's just like Star Wars Squadron, like that game. It wasn't really glitchy, but there just wasn't enough, and it's like people didn't like I played it for like a day, and that was it.
But you do realize you're not the only person that plays those games, right?
I'm just yeah. Well, they already had the game came out. When did the game come out? Like October, November, or something like that last year.
Okay, and they're still releasing DLC.
And
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 the
it
game was
already
free
had a
to. It was
free play weekend already.
Yeah, that's fine. That entices people to play the game. If they like it, they buy it. Same reason things go on Game Pass. It doesn't go on Game Pass because the
I
game
can
is
hear you twice.
failing. I don't think I muted myself on the.
Ow! I hit my knee.
There you go. You have to mute me on your end.
Hey!
Wow. Okay, but let's start the game. Let's start the podcast properly. Hey, everybody.
You asked me.
I know. I did ask you. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Video Games and Nonsense podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Chase Carter, and this is
Raymond Woods.
And this is where we talk about video games and nonsense. We were just speaking of Cyberpunk and how doomed it is, how terrible it's doomed, even though it sold. Hold on.
I
13 million copies as of December 20th.
First of all,
let's see.
First of all, I never said the word doomed at all.
Okay, well, you said no one's going to play the next gen or this gen version, the Series X.
The only reason why you'll play it is because you play games like 4 or 5 years later. So that's the only reason why you're going to play it. So I don't hear it.
But just because a game is older doesn't mean it's not good. And that's what I don't understand.
I never said that.
The mentality of playing a game when it's brand new, like you do, for a few months, a month or two max.
And well, I usually like play the shit out of them and then
forget about them, and then go on to the next one, on to the next one, on to the next one.
First of all, okay, Assassin's Creed Valhalla had its problems. Okay,
I'm not saying, what game doesn't have its problems? What are you talking about?
Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, Ghost of Tsushima.
They don't have their problems, or you just
not really. You haven't played those games, so you don't know. I'm dead serious. Those games.
I heard the game was almost broken when it came out on PC.
Which one?
Horizon Zero Dawn.
I'm talking about PlayStation 4.
Oh, excuse me, PlayStation 4. I'm sure I can go back and look at the glitches that it had.
It came out on PC like 2 years later, 3 years later. But the game was virtually, those games were almost perfect. Like they were just below perfect.
Well, I'd say
you can't tell me, you can't say anything about them. You have no idea. You haven't even played them. It doesn't make any sense.
No, I'm not saying they are, but I'm saying that no game is perfect. Some games obviously have more glitches, like Fallout. Bethesda is known for its bugs, but then it becomes funny somehow.
You know what? Man, I can't. Did you ever get into the Fallout games?
3, New Vegas.
I can't, dude. I'm gonna. I mean,
not full. I played 4. I completed 4, but it just didn't hook me.
Dude, I don't know how.
And I did not play 76.
I don't know how people play those games.
You didn't like 3? 3?
I didn't like any of them. I don't like the movement, the movement of the characters, how the guns.
Oh, the gameplay was terrible, but in 4 it was better. But
I don't. 4 was a little bit better, but that's like I don't understand how people are like, dude, these games are amazing. I'm like, the gameplay is crap. Like, what are you guys talking about?
That was one of the first, like those open world apocalyptic where you can really get it. You can you can craft, you can carry like it was one of those first kind of games like that.
Well, that's fine, but and then also like the Dark Souls games where you just like I understand like there's a lot of customization and all that, but like and then the enemy, ugh, and that's it. And then I'm like, what do you? How is that fun? How the fuck is that fun?
Yeah, right.
Anyways, no, I just they're good games. Okay, that's fine. They're good games. I'll give them that. But people are like, oh my god, they're amazing. Those are usually like your like weirdos who like are very socially awkward. It's true.
You're describing us right now. You're describing us. I hope you know
Oh
that.
no, we are definitely not socially awkward. Definitely not.
No,
You
of
have a
course
hot
not.
girlfriend. You have a
Of
hot
course
girlfriend.
not. Well, socially awkward people can have, and I wouldn't say she's hot. I would say she's attractive. No. She comes out of the fucking.
She's like, what?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm still sweating. It's hot. But I still don't get what your dismissal of games. Say Cyberpunk, the this gen version comes out in the second half of 2021, as it said. What's the issue with that? I don't understand.
I'm afraid there's going to be more glitches, more bugs. Oh, hey, it's great. It's released now, and then I play it. Oh, there's actually like a bunch of bugs in it. I can't trust them. What do you want me to do? You even said you can't trust them now, so then they're going to release the upgraded version. Let's see if it's actually upgraded. We can't trust them. We can't trust CD Projekt Red.
But it's free. It's not like we're paying for it. It's free. So if we try it and it sucks, we could turn the game off.
I'm just saying, like,
I don't understand.
I
will never pre-order a game from them again.
Dude, man, they should have never made it for. I understand, like people say, oh, people try to say that it wasn't meant for or wasn't made for the last gen consoles. No, it was, but they shouldn't have made it for the last gen consoles. You should have made it for.
But that was supposed to come out before the next gen game systems were out.
That's what the problem is. That's where my little argument right there kind of collapses in on itself. So I get it. Right,
it was a Xbox One and PlayStation 4 game that just happened to run on the new hardware.
And then there's another game coming out. You might have heard of it, called Outriders.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I had seen gameplay for the game. I was like, oh, okay, it looks pretty cool. And then yesterday, I'd seen that it was. No, just let me finish. Okay, let me finish.
I didn't interrupt you.
No, I'm just saying because you in case you heard what happened, then But anyways,
okay.
So yesterday I was watching a video. This was this morning. Sorry. It was talking about, dude, the game is way more intricate. It's a looter shooter, but it's way more intricate than I had really ever saw because I didn't really pay too much attention to it. I mean, like I said, it looked cool. Like they had like certain abilities and stuff like that. There's 4 classes and it looks really cool. I was like, okay. But then, dude, they have a crafting system. Obviously, you can upgrade your weapons. Everything that a looter shooter comes with. But something that they did that's different, and that I don't think any other looter shooter has done, which is really cool. So, say like you have one legendary weapon, like one legendary assault rifle, and then you have another one, and say like the one that you have is stronger than the one that you had before, but you really like, say, like the mod or the ability that one of them has.
Mm-hmm.
You can dismantle the one that's lower, take that mod and put it onto the one that's higher. So the examples that they use is they had this one AR that when you would shoot enemies, you could freeze them, and then another one, the one that was weaker, or that was lower level, had whenever you shoot an enemy, they would be struck with lightning. So they dismantled that one and put that lightning strike mod on the one with the where you could freeze enemies. So when you shoot enemies, they would freeze and then get struck by lightning.
Oh, so it add on. It wouldn't even. It wouldn't.
Yeah. I was like,
stack that? Can you stack it? Like have like 4 or 5 effects, or is it just 2?
No, so it's just 2 base because it's legendary. So it's 2 base. You can. I think there's different tiers of it. I remember, if I remember correctly, I saw like 1, 2, and 3 tiers. So it just does more damage and all that. But then you can also get other mods and like for like gear and shit. And there's gear and stuff like that. So that I was intrigued. I was like, oh, well, that's cool. That's really cool because like I said, no, like that is just that just adds more replayability. And then also with this game, after you complete the main campaign, you have what's called expeditions, and there's like 14 different expeditions, and they're basically like I think they're kind of like raids, like smaller versions of raids.
Yeah.
But that's how, you go and you do, whatever it is. It's like, challenge, and then you can upgrade like the tier, the level tier, so you can get better loot and stuff like that. And then after that, there's a 15th expedition where it's like the main one that's even just 10 times harder. And this is all after you complete the campaign. And I'm like, dude, games need to, like Division 2, geniuses, the fucking geniuses behind what was, well, I can't remember. It's not Ubisoft, is the
Ubisoft.
publisher.
It was massive. The people who are making that new Star Wars game.
Yes, but so you understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
that was because everyone was so worried about the end game. Like, that's what everyone was like, kind of focuses on end game. And the Division 2, they did that, dude. That was implemented so well. And then, but then the same thing. It seems like with Outriders, it's like, oh, okay, they're actually doing this really well. Problem. Here's a problem.
Here's a problem with the game that's not even out yet.
No. The game was meant to be released in December. They delayed it till January. It's been delayed again till April 1st. Okay, obviously delays are good. Okay, but the problem is, like I said, is when a game, in my opinion, when a game is.
What's your conspiracy theory now? I love these.
This is not a conspiracy theory. This is almost, you can almost, with what's happened in the past, you can almost prove that it's usually what happens. If a game is delayed more than once, it's usually riddled with bugs and glitches. And what I'm saying, the reason why I'm saying that is because if a game is delayed more than once, it usually means that they need at least 6 months to a year to actually fix everything and for the game to be actually good and polished and where the team wants it. And that's the problem, because they delayed it. It was supposed to release in December, January, a month, delayed it in another 2 months. Guarantee they're probably going to delay it again.
You guarantee another delay after 2?
Yeah, after 2. They only delayed it a total of 3 months. That
should be enough to get the major bugs out. I mean, it depends on how, because some games come together and they work fine, which at the very last, because whenever I watch those developer diaries, they have all these different pieces of the game. People are working on them, and they usually don't make a build like where everything comes together. That usually comes together at the very last portion of it, and then they work on bugs, fixing it, and like polishing it and everything. That's the very little that I know about game developing. But some games, when they come together, they're just terrible. They just don't. The systems don't work for some reason, especially if it's a bunch of new engines that they haven't tried before. I heard somebody talk about. I think it was Colin Moriarty on his podcast. Ubisoft makes Assassin's Creed, and that's a different engine because it has to deal with verticality, and then Massive Entertainment that makes.
That's what it is. The Division.
Yeah, the Division. That's what I said. Massive. I didn't say Entertainment earlier, but they don't use that engine. They use a different one that's more Snowdrop. Yeah. That's more 2D, two-dimensional kind of. Like, it doesn't go up crazy because they don't work the same. So even a video game engine, for some reason, isn't good at building things this way, but it's fine building things this way. So to a layman like me, I'm like, what?
Well, it's just because that specific game engine is built for that verticality.
I know it's built, at least I remember reading, I got really nerdy about the first Assassin's Creed, and they said when they had that, I don't know if it's that engine that they still use, but they said that anything that sticks out.
Oh, they probably upgraded it.
Oh, I fucking hope so, from the first one. But I don't know if it's the same one or a different iteration. Mm-hmm. But they said they're going to build how they built the engine, and then anything they build in the world, anything that sticks out more than an inch, the character can grab onto. So they don't have to worry about putting ledges, because they have to divide. How in video games where they put a ledge and they highlight it like in yellow paint or whatever to signify to us, we can climb that. But in the first Assassin's Creed, I don't know if this is a mentality that they kept going forward with. I don't know. I didn't read all of that stuff about the newer games, but that always intrigued me. I'm like, okay, so they just have to worry about creating the developers don't have to worry about what's climbable. How do we get certain places? They just build a world, and then the game engine makes everything. But then in my head, I'm thinking, well, isn't that going to create a whole bunch of bugs, like grabbing onto things maybe you don't know?
Oh yeah.
And, so I remember playing that game. It wasn't buggy. It was fine. So I mean,
yeah. I just
there's pros and cons to everything, I guess.
Well, yeah, and and it's let me be clear. It's obviously it's a good thing when they delay a game if they really need to, obviously. But the problem is when they do it multiple times. That already red flag. Already, I'm like, oh, I get real worrisome. Like,
Well,
Anthem was delayed like 2-3 times. I think it was.
Yeah. So I mean, there's exceptions to every rule, but I'm looking at Outsiders right now on the Square Enix.
Outriders.
What'd I say?
Outsiders.
Outsiders.
Gotta do it for Johnny.
Gotta do it. Outriders. It doesn't even say if it's a first person or third person?
It's third person.
Okay.
It looks really cool. Like I'm telling, like the combat looks real good. There's a cover system. The abilities that you get are really cool. It's co-op.
Yeah, I heard it's 1 to 3 player, drop in, drop out co-op.
Should be. Oh yeah, that's right. It is 1 to 3, which is odd because there's 4 different classes.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. So we gonna have a game that's 4-player co-op since there's 4 different characters? No, it's gonna be 3 players only.
Hey, whatever makes the game run better. I don't know if 4 players is too much for the game, or for some reason, I'm
like that must be it. That must be it, man.
I don't. It's pretty interesting though.
But it just sucks because like I learned about all this stuff yesterday, and it said that it was releasing February 2nd. I was like, oh man, that's cool. We got like 2 weeks. And then I kept scrolling. I tried to find more information on the game, and I kept scrolling through YouTube, and it said delayed again. I was like, please not. Come on. And I thought it was a joke because it was the person who the YouTuber who had posted the video only had like I think it was like 3 to like 5,000 views on it, and then he showed a picture of the devs coming out. I was like, fuck. But apparently at the end of February there's gonna be like a beta version of it coming out. So see, fucking thank you. Like that's what I thought that would be such a good idea. If you're gonna delay the game, hey, put like a demo version out. If you're going to delay the game multiple times, put a demo version out. That way, you still that is like one of the best ways to keep to hold the hype of the game up. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of keeping the hype train going, but like I see your point. For me personally, I don't like when I know why they do it financially. It's for their stockholders. But when they announce a game that's like 4 or 5 years in the future.
Yeah, no, they did that with that so annoying.
They do that
they
with
did
Elder
that with
Scrolls.
Diablo 4.
Yeah, they do it with Elder Scrolls. They did it with like the
stop.
what is that? What's the one game Star something?
Star Citizen?
No, it's Bethesda. It's going to be an Xbox game. Yes. Stars. Oh God, the 3 people that listen to this are. I need to look this up because Starfield. Jesus Christ! They announced that game years in advance or whatever. So I'm just why are we? Because then we go into this whole thing where I forget what it's coming out unless I'm like love that game. But Starfield is the first game of its kind by that studio, so I can maybe see the Elder Scrolls them saying, "Hey, we're working on it. It's not going to be ready for 5 years. We're looking for 5 years, maybe, just like a loose general idea."
Yeah,
but when they come, I kind of like what they did with the God of War Ragnarok. The first trailer was like, "Hey, it's coming out in a year." I'm like,
yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Like I know the games are coming out. I don't just say you're working on it. I don't need a trailer. Just say, yeah, we're working on this. We're working on that. Stop giving me this hype stuff. Like it's going to be out 5-6 years. We don't know what's going to happen 5 or 6 years from now.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Yeah,
and I think Horizon Forbidden West. That's what the next one is called. That one I think is coming out this year as well. And I will.
PlayStation's got a ton of good. Did you see that Indiana Jones trailer?
No, I haven't seen it yet. Don't tell him. Don't tell him.
Well, I'm not saying it. It's just a silly there's no gameplay.
Okay.
At least the part that I saw of it. And I don't know if there's another one coming, but it shows a table with a whole bunch of Indiana Jones knickknacks, like his hat, his whip, and then photographs and stuff like that. We don't know when it takes place in the in the timeline, if it's a younger indie, or if it's an older. We don't know if Harrison Ford's involved. I just
Be cool if he was.
it's like get Harrison Ford, like make his face look younger, and get an actor that can do his voice.
Yeah.
If he doesn't want to be a part of it, it's got to be Harrison Ford. I don't.
Yeah, if it's not, no one's gonna play it.
It's not going to be taken seriously.
Dismissed.
It's like having the game but without the theme music. It's like no.
Yeah, no, right.
I don't want to see a Shia LaBeouf version of him, like a new.
Yeah.
And if Shia hadn't gone a little cuckoo, we would have had Shia LaBeouf Indiana Jones movies.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that was. But that happened with Diablo 4. Remember, I think it was like last year, or the year before. They had a little bit of like one of the E3s. They had like a small gameplay demo, and people were like, "Oh man," because people were freaking out because people like Diablo 3, but they loved Diablo 2. That was like the best Diablo. That was like the best looter game, whatever. And they're going towards more of Diablo 2 now, and people are freaking out. Then these idiots come out and they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, we're not even close to being done." I was like, "What the fuck? What?" Apparently they got like 4 or 5 more years. I'm like,
well, when did they say? When they announced it, when did they say it was going to be?
They didn't say.
Okay.
They just said we have a long way ahead of us. I was like, "Oh." And
well, see, that's fine. That's the kind of communication I want. See, and what's funny is the differences between the two of us. You want we're working on it, and you want it out within a year. I just want from a financial perspective, I understand how they get people to invest in their companies and blah 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 blah. I understand that part. Like 5 years from now, we're going to work on Elder Scrolls, and that's how I'm like, just tell me when it's going to be out. I don't care if it's 10 years from now. Just
no, with Diablo 4, they can take all the time they want because I mean I love Diablo 3, but the reason why I'm saying that is I played the fucking shit out of Diablo 3. I can't tell you how many times I had. Me and Dylan played it. Me and Danielle played the fuck out of that. She got into that, and she don't, I mean, she likes video games, but that was way before I joined the army. But yeah.
Yeah, so, Corey liked that game too. I bought it, and her and I played it. And she really.
It's real simple.
Yeah, but it has a whole bunch of you can play it simple, but then there's a whole bunch of layers of depth, and that's one of the reasons I like The Witcher 3 is you can really get into the nuances of crafting and the oils and all this, but you didn't need to do it. So it adds this different layer. I wish they would have.
I know you played the shit out of Witcher 3.
That game was amazing. Everything finished. Every side, everything finished.
I think I did that in Horizon Zero Dawn. Well, except for the DLC, you still have to. I know I still need to play the DLC. I played a good amount of it, but I mean, I just didn't finish it.
There's just so
I think
much,
other games, other games came out, but
what? We're 23 minutes in. What games have you been playing recently? I haven't seen you on Xbox. I haven't seen you on Xbox. So what,
no, I've been on Xbox. No. I've actually been. I started a new game on Terraria.
Oh, okay.
Because I only played a very small amount of that game.
Are you and Dylan? Are you and Dylan playing that? Is that what?
No, he has his own game. Like we were thinking about playing it together, starting our own little world. But I have my own world right now. I'm on expert and it's like really hard, but you get better loot. But it's pretty cool. It's it's obviously a side scroller. You and Corey might actually like it because you can play it on like a more casual. But there is there's a lot of different bosses. There's you can is there crafting? Yeah, you can craft obviously. But yeah, it's
the whole game is based off crafting. Is there craft?
Yeah.
Are there horses in Red Dead Redemption? Yeah.
Are there guns in it?
I don't know.
I think there might be. Don't quote me on it, but I think there might be guns in Red Dead.
I think you shoot some things.
But I know it's one of those brain farts. But yeah. So I've been actually I'm like I'll be at work and I'll start playing at like midnight or 1. I'm like, fuck, I really wish I started playing earlier because then I'll get lost in it. And I'm like, and I start playing, and I'm like, and by the time I look at I'm like, fuck, it's time to go. I'm like, I want to get.
You're sad that you have to leave work and stop playing the video game.
But yeah, so I've been playing that. I've been kind of. I mean, I play a little bit of Apex here and there. Like I played it today. I actually won one today with 2 other randoms. That was nice.
Well, I bet that made you happy.
Yeah, no, hey, you don't know, okay?
No, I don't. I never want to know how Apex works at all. I played it once, and I'm like, this game's not for me.
It's I think you would like it. It is a really nice feeling when you win in a BR game. You actually feel like you actually won, but like I say, you don't win anything. You get experience, and that's it.
Oh
That's
yeah.
why I wish there was more of an incentive to win. Like, hey, if you win a certain amount of games or whatever, you can unlock this, or you get these coins to unlock this. I don't fucking know.
Well,
But
doesn't the
then,
XP unlock stuff that you get? Isn't that
yeah, I mean,
basically the same thing?
no, you can.
But
The
you want
XP
to
unlocks uh, Apex, um, Apex. What the dude? What is with me today?
coins, points,
No, they're like the Apex
shillings.
pack. Yeah, Apex pack, and but
Oh,
that's
like a battle pass, like in
yeah.
Okay.
But like, there's like
They're
skins
all
that you
doing
can
the same
get.
thing. It's weird.
Yeah, I
Like
know, and that's another reason why I like Apex, because when they first started, I think there was like one other BR long time ago that had to where you could actually revive your teammates, and because in most BRs you can't, but then Apex introduced a pinging system, which everyone followed suit. Everyone was like, yes,
Well,
just
yeah, and
yes.
anything they can do to help people communicate without using their voice, because there's some
Oh,
people who
dude,
just
you
don't
can
want to
do
talk.
anything. You can request ammo. You can
Yeah.
request a scope. You can request anything.
But that's
Literally
what I liked
anything.
about Battlefield. I love that I need some ammo or I need a
Hmm.
medic or what. And not that just nobody listened because you hear
Well,
all this
it's
crazy.
funny too. See
But
this, and
sometimes
look,
you get people to actually listen.
this is why I love Dice. This example right here. I don't know when they implemented it. Okay, I just all of a sudden I saw it. I was like, this is why I know. This is how I know that Dice listened. In Battlefield 5, it was a couple months ago when I saw it. I was playing it and I needed ammo, and I kept requesting it from my teammate who he was next to me, and he was a support. He wouldn't put it down, and I got close to him to like try to shoot at him, and then it prompted up to say, and it said press X to take ammo. I was like, oh,
How
you can
long
literally
is it?
just take ammo from him.
Is that something that's been in the game and we just haven't noticed it?
No. I'm almost 100% sure that it wasn't. They didn't implement that in the beginning. I'm almost
They added it.
100% sure that they added it.
Can you do the
And
same
that's
thing
just
with
proof.
medics and stuff, or did you even?
I think so. I think you can.
Okay, that makes more sense. And then
Yeah, I'm
now
like, dude, oh my god, thank you.
that is a pretty cool feature. I've been playing. Is that the only game you've been playing, Terraria?
I play a little bit of Battlefield, a little bit of Apex here and there.
But that's pretty much it. I've been playing Red Dead Online, and I'm getting back into it. The game doesn't crash anymore. I mean, it's been out for 2. How long has that game been out? 2 years, I want to say. 3 years.
Just about 2-3 years.
Red Dead Redemption 2 release date. I want to see. Yeah, October 26, 2018. So 2 to 3 years. Yeah, it'll be 3 years this October. So they finally fixed, because I remember playing the game and it would just boot me out in the middle of a mission. Me and my friend Tyler would play, kicked off a whole bunch, and then but now me and Corey were playing. I think we had one issue where a mission wouldn't start, and I went to a loading screen, just got stuck. But other than that, it's been awesome. There's hasn't been any lag to it. The things they added, the missions are all kind of different. We're doing our trader. We were doing a whole bunch of stuff. I'm trying to teach her the game, and I was showing her a little bit of everything. And then her complaint or issue was there's too many things to concentrate on. She wants to concentrate on one thing as far as mission variety goes, and so we're stuck with the trader class or whatever that is. So now we're hunting. She loves hunting. She's getting down how to kill a deer or an elk or whatever. She's and then she has to understand certain animal. Obviously, the certain animals that take certain weapons to kill. You can't just kill everything with the. She's like, I'm
Yeah.
shooting it with the rifle. I was like, you have to kill a deer. She wants to know why she isn't getting a 3-star deer. And then I'm like, you have to shoot it with a rifle. It's like it's a repeater rifle. And I'm like, no, you have to do it like the bolt action rifle.
Or you could do it with an arrow and do their weak spots, like the
Yeah,
head or the.
yeah. But in my with the rifle, because I was trying to shoot it in its lungs. I was trying to get it right above with the rifle, but it would degrade every single time. It would degrade, and I didn't realize that you have to shoot with an arrow in the weak spot. I didn't try that, but then I read it somewhere online as a tip. You have to shoot it with the arrow in the weak spot to get that, or shoot him in the head with the rifle. But then in my viewpoint, hunters don't aim for the head. They aim for the vital organs to put the animal down as quickly as possible because they want, I don't know if they want to like keep the face and everything intact, but all the hunting.
Well, yeah, because they usually chop the head off and then put it on their wall like the
Yeah, so
real
I'm just
serious
wondering
hunters.
like why. I don't know that's, but I guess back then they didn't give two shits. They'll shoot it right in the head and then cut the the organs and the meat out that they need and then go sell it and eat it.
Dude, I just thought of that'd be really cool if you could, because I can't remember if you can get like you can buy property and have your own house online. I could sneeze.
God bless. Oh. My favorite.
Oh my goodness.
Are you okay?
I'm okay. But imagine if you could have your own house and then like the legendary animals that you killed
could be up there on the walls and stuff.
Yeah, or like you have like a rug from like a legendary bear that you killed.
I don't know how that like you have a camp in the game.
Yeah, I know that.
But you want your own. But like you can build up your tent. I don't know how far you can build up your tent if it becomes a house eventually. I haven't looked at the.
I heard you could buy property. I'm not sure how.
You heard you can buy property?
Yeah, I heard you can buy a house.
I haven't gotten that far because there's like 4 or 5 different traders. They call them like you can run moonshine. You could be a survivalist, like hunt like do herb stuff. You can collect this one stuff from like this gypsy lady. You can hunt. You can do like there's like a hunting. It's a whole separate with its different perks and all this. Like it's really really in depth. It reminds me of Sea of Thieves a little bit. As far as when it came out, it was real bare bones. There wasn't a ton to do. It was just story missions, and once you got done with the story, it was just kind of doing the same thing over and over. But now there's so many little things to do, it just feels kind of organic.
Yeah.
To do all that stuff. And then me and her played Sea of Thieves. She had to steal 3 more treasure chests from a different ship in order to get some cosmetic that she wanted. It was like the 12. It was a holiday themed unlockable stuff where it's all it's all like the spyglass is all green and red, like Christmassy colors. You get like a mug that's like a Christmas mug, and I'm like, you're never gonna use this stuff. What are we do? Like, can we just play the game? What are we doing? And then of course I get all into it as well. It's like, well, I need to shoot a ship with purple cursed cannonballs, and then I'm playing a game that I'm not playing. Part of me likes it because it's just random shit that you have to do. But then what people do is if you have to steal stuff or shoot stuff, 2 ships just come alongside of each other and then just swap treasure and then just leave. So I'm just like, it doesn't matter. It does, like, no matter what.
I need this. I need that.
I need 3 chests. What do you got over there? You got 3 skulls? I'll give you 4 chests for those 3 skulls. I need to. So we were like negotiating with people. And then
I guess it just makes it easier, man.
It does. It does, but like it negates the purpose or in the spirit of the game. It's just weird. There's simple easy ones, and then there's obviously more difficult ones, and everybody works together. Like what is so funny because at the very beginning of the events, everybody, the main guys, like the really really good guys, they all get together and then they work together to complete those things. And then they just go kill everybody else trying to complete the same things.
Scumbags.
It is one of the funniest things, and like most disrespectful, but obviously hilarious things. Just to be on the season, be like, oh, you're trying to do this, and then they just destroy people. But that game's and she's actually getting a lot better. She's at first it was a little annoying to play with her because she was, what, I don't know where blah blah blah. Now she's finally working after months of playing the game. Because she plays by herself. She'll get on a galleon.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, she'll get on a galleon and play for a few hours. She played all day Friday, all day Saturday, and then she took Sunday off, and then we played pretty much all day Monday. 5+ hours in a day.
Is she still working?
She's played. Yeah. Well, because she had the weekend. She had after work Friday.
Oh, that's right.
She got off. Martin Luther King Day. Yeah. And then she wants to play it again tonight. I was like, What? Every single day at the past 4 days?
Yeah,
she plays video games, and she plays video games more than I do. So it's getting to the point because I can play Assassin's Creed Valhalla for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then by the time I'm done, I do little collecting quests. I'm not doing the missions until I do, like, I get all the, I don't know, side shit. I don't know if I'm ruining the game playing it that way or not, because then I forget about the story missions. So I'm trying
Yeah,
to.
I know it's hard. Yeah, I know it's
Because
hard to.
you forget. You're like, wait, what am I doing again? It takes you out of the like, what's weird, the environment or the mentality of it, of collecting one or two little things and then doing a story mission, collecting one or two. I wish you could. I don't know. I don't, because it's a issue like most games have. It's Cyberpunk. It's like, oh, the world's gonna end or the city's gonna blow up or whatever. But then I'm gonna help this guy find his hat or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? It's like these weird side, like, I don't know how you could pace a game as a developer to where it incrementally builds up and you're not doing anything that's an emergency until you're locked in a mission and you're at the very last part, like the level or what have you.
Well, yeah, and I know that game is huge. The game is stupid big, but there is one thing that I wanted to. Now you might have heard it.
Are you talking about Cyberpunk or Assassins?
No, it's actually off topic. It's completely off topic.
No, I'm saying when you said it was huge.
Oh no, Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Oh, okay. Off topic. Okay, this is the nonsense part. Is it political? What are you talking about?
It's political.
Okay.
Have you heard the KGB defector Yuri Bezmenov's?
I heard some Russian thing. I don't know. I saw some Google News thing about some Russian. Why? What?
It's 6 minutes and 50 seconds.
You want me to watch it right now, or just in general?
I'll send it to your phone, and then you could type it in. You could fast forward until he starts talking.
Okay, well, how do you spell his name?
Here, I'll just send it to you right now on in the chats. There you
go. In the chat, what? In
Messenger.
Oh, okay. I was like I want to see what this is. KGB defector, you're a warning to America.
This is in 1984. The video was made in 1984. Now, here, let me see when he starts talking. Fast forward to...
Son of a high-ranking
Fast forward to 55 seconds.
Okay. I don't know how good this is going to be for content, but I'll try it out.
When the Soviets used the phrase ideological subversion, what do they mean by it?
Ideological subversion is the slow process which we call either ideological subversion or active measures, активные мероприятия in the language of the KGB, or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow, and it's divided in 4 basic stages. The first one being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years? Because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students in the country of your enemy, exposed to the ideology of the enemy. In other words, Marxism-Leninism ideology is being pumped into the soft heads of at least 3 generations of American students without being challenged or counterbalanced by the basic values of Americanism, American patriotism. The demoralization process in the United States is basically completed already. For the last 25 years, actually it's overfulfilled, because demoralization now reaches such areas where previously not even Comrade Andropov and all his experts would even dream of such a tremendous success. Most of it is done by Americans to Americans, thanks to lack of moral standards. As I mentioned before, exposure to true information does not matter anymore. A person who was demoralized is unable to assess true information. The facts tell nothing to him. Even if I shower him with information, with authentic proof, with documents, with pictures, even if I take him by force to the Soviet Union and show him concentration camp, he will refuse to believe it until he is going to receive a kick in his fat bottom. When a military boot crashes his balls, then he will understand, but not before that. That's the tragic of the situation of demoralization. The next stage is destabilization. This time, subverter does not care about your ideas and the patterns of your consumption. Whether you eat junk food and get fat and flabby, doesn't matter anymore. This time, and it takes only from 2 to 5 years to destabilize a nation. What matters is essentials: economy, foreign relations, defense systems. And you can see it quite clearly that in some areas, in such sensitive areas as defense and economy, the influence of Marxist-Leninist ideas in the United States is absolutely fantastic. I could never believe it 14 years ago when I landed in this part of the world that the process will go that fast. The next stage, of course, is crisis. It may take only up to 6 weeks to bring a country to the verge of crisis. You can see it in Central America now. And after crisis, with a violent change of power, structure, and economy, you have so-called the period of normalization. It may last indefinitely. Normalization is a cynical expression borrowed from Soviet propaganda. When the Soviet tanks moved into Czechoslovakia in 1968, Comrade Brezhnev said, "Now the situation in brotherly Czechoslovakia is normalized." This is what will happen in the United States if you allow all these schmucks to bring the country to crisis, to promise people all kind of goodies and the paradise on earth, to destabilize your economy, to eliminate the principle of free market competition, and to put a big brother government in Washington, D.C., with benevolent dictators like Walter Mondale, who will promise lots of things, never mind whether the promises are fulfillable or not.
Okay. But now, this was shot in 1984, and they were talking about Marxism even back then?
Yeah, well, like you said, it takes a very, very long time. It's a very slow process.
Yeah, well, the first part of it takes forever. Or can't remember the step one, takes 15 years because that's how you educate a generation of people to think a certain way or whatever, and then that generation, obviously. But
it takes like 3 generations.
Yeah, of schooling, basically. So I'm thinking, I don't know how part of me thinks that people have been talking about this since it's been brought up because of like destabilized. I think we should always be worried about it, but there are, I guess the greatest form of government that we've seen in our lifetime is the United States of America. As far as we're the youngest and most powerful country, like the most powerful country, and we're the youngest as far as just how everything works. So we're doing something right, but I don't know if I think there's always checks in. There's nobody in the kitchen. Just made a crazy noise. It's a socialist coming after me to get me. But I'm not too sure that comes into play, because eventually I think unless you're going to do something by force, like he said, the tanks rolling in, unless you're going to do something by actual military force.
Well, we're not there yet.
I understand. Okay, yeah, we're always not there yet. Until we are, but like, just because there's a few things, and I know people are upset that people are getting what is it, banned from social media and all that,
and canceled.
Getting canceled basically, and ruining their lives. because of allegations. And I follow stand-up comedians, and a woman says, "Oh, he raped me 20 years ago," and that person's life is ruined without him even going to court, without her having to prove anything. It's just her word.
Well, that's part of destabilization and demoralization.
Well, yeah, I understand, but I don't know if that's maybe that's like a side effect from it, but maybe that's just a woman who was quiet for 20 years speaking out. But I don't know if you
we already have people talking about socialism in America.
I understand that, but not all socialism. You say socialism is bad. It's obviously not all bad.
No, it is.
It's not all bad. There's socialistic aspects that we used in the.
Socialism is communism.
Are there elements of it that we could use?
Full-fledged socialism.
I see full-fledged. Yes, I agree. But are there parts of it that we can use to better society? Yes.
That's not an argument.
That is it. We already we have socialism in our country, so it's going to take over. No, it's not.
You literally just heard what he said, and you're dismissing it like it's not going to happen.
I'm not dismissing it. I'm saying it's going to happen. No. I'm saying just because. Okay, how many people have said this is the end of times over the course of?
I never said it was the end of times. I never said that. I never once said it was the end of times.
The end of our country? How many times have people have said if socialism takes over, it's not our country anymore. It's not a democracy or a republic.
Yes, I know. Yeah, and we
so that's the end of our country. How many times have people
in Congress? We've never had people in Congress who have pushed for socialism. We've never had
aspects of it. Social Security is a form of socialism. Fire departments are a form of socialism.
You honestly think that people in power want parts of socialism? Like that's what you think? We want parts of it. What? People in power want parts of it?
So all these people are just evil dictators that want to take over everything.
Yes.
All of them? All the Democrats?
I never said all of them. We've seen what they do. We've seen Kamala Harris and how she put people away for minor drug marijuana charges and then laughed about it. That's a fucking dictator. What else? What more evidence do you need? Well, that doesn't make any sense.
I agree.
She's the vice president.
I understand that. But people can be more than one thing. So it's not.
They could be a dictator and something else. They could be what?
No, I'm not saying that they can be more than one thing. I'm saying when people obviously they're not. It's not. They're not a computer code. They're not black and white. So when people they can be hypocrites, but still be overall good people or bad people, depending on what you want to say. So like Kamala Harris can do that stuff, but in her head rationalize and say, "Yeah, it's not that big of a deal." And plus, I did it in a state that it was legal, or however you want to twist it. But a normal person would say, "You mean you put people away almost for life for this thing that you do?" So I know it's a bad thing. It's just like the governor of California having his own restaurants open while banning other restaurants from being closed. It doesn't make any sense.
That's addictive.
Nothing. Yeah, I know. I get that. But I don't know that guy. So I don't know
if we already have these people doing their actions showing dictatorship, but it's not happening.
I'm not saying
there's evidence of it, but
I'm not saying it's not happening. I just think these people are assholes, and if you give them a certain amount of power, then
they have more power now because they have the Senate, they have the House, and they have the presidency.
I know, but
they're going to get even more power.
But if they keep fucking people over, they're not going to anymore.
Well, I hope
so. And just because the Democrats have had the House, they've had the Senate, and they've had it before. This is not the first time in American society. You think our country is so weak?
They've never had it to where there's this many progressive people. Okay, we have Muslims who hate America. We have Congress women who are Muslims who hate America. They are in power. What the hell? The hell do they even get in power? Corruption. That's the problem. We have people. Literally, most Democrats. They fucking hate America. They say it's racist. They completely dismiss people literally burning the flag. We have more people burning the flag than we ever have. We have professors who are teaching children that capitalism is evil and that socialism is better. That's going to destabilize, demoralize. The country is already demoralized. Completely demoralized. I mean, we still have people who hold these conservative viewpoints and still morals, but there's more. Dude, they own the media. They own the social websites. They own Hollywood. The millionaires, the most millionaires and rich people, the people who are in power, are liberal and left or progressive or clearly progressive.
I think that's the mentality that they show, but in reality, they're not like that.
Well,
because if you're a millionaire, just and as far as you love and you want your money and all that stuff, and even 50 Cent made a joke about it. He was like, "Yeah, 50 Cent. If I vote for Biden, I'm going to be 5 cents because of all the taxes that he's going to like." There comes a point, like all the rich people pay all of our taxes, which is or the majority of our taxes, which doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why are we like they're piggybacking the rest of the country? Come along, guys, come on. But it just doesn't make any sense to me that those people, like, if everyone was leaning that way, everybody, then Donald Trump wouldn't have even been close to getting elected. He wouldn't have got elected the first time, and it basically wouldn't have split the country in half. So not everybody. I think it's just we see it because we're on the social media websites that are owned by left. They have a left-leaning bias. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on these things, and there's no counter to it. Like, this is my whole argument.
And that's the problem.
And yeah, it is a problem. But the free market is going to correct that.
I hope so. I really hope.
Just because we're in this, let's cancel Parler. I didn't even know about Parler, and it's so stupid. If they're a real competitor, if they were a real competitor to Twitter and all this is the stupidest thing they could have done, because people like me had never heard about it. And now, if they comes back, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get on it.
I think I heard that they won the fight in the they won the I think lawsuit or whatever. So I think they're coming back.
Well, it doesn't make any sense.
Because they're not allowed to. They're not allowed to just, oh yeah, we're canceling you. What? What do you mean? For what?
Like, Parler said they had like 3 days to respond to their request, and that's not even a long enough period of time to implement the changes that they wanted, which is so stupid. Because if you're, it's a famous person who's getting made fun of on Twitter calling out the guy with 3 followers, and now everyone is going to notice this person. Yeah. So why even do?
So now they're getting.
Why even do that?
If they would have let him go and like not
Parler
said anything,
couldn't have asked for a better advertising campaign than everybody's against
Instagram. It was Instagram. It was Twitter. It was Facebook, and then Apple. I think Android did it too.
Instagram is Facebook, but like Facebook didn't. It was the only people that controlled it was Amazon, and then Apple.
Yeah, Amazon.
Amazon.
But literally, basically all the mainstream social media, they went after Parler, and everyone was like you said,
in a court of law, you can't prove that they're just suspending him to keep him down. I think this is what their thinking is. They believe that the you got to get going here pretty soon.
Yeah, I got to go.
Yeah, you got to be there at 5. But I'm just going to finish this point. But I think they're trying to quiet it down so we don't have another Capitol getting rushed, taken over thing. But then if you compare that to all of the BLM riots or like whatever across the entire country, it doesn't make any sense. So like you can do $4 billion worth of damage to private businesses, but some idiots take some selfies in the Capitol. Like, granted that the cop got beat up, but the woman who rushed the Capitol, like if you're bursting into anyone else's building, and I don't care if it's private or Capitol, you should get shot. You should you're doing something. It's very sad. She obviously like didn't deserve to die, but if I break into your house as a joke and you shoot me, it's a tragedy, but I deserve it. I'm breaking into your house.
But then here's the thing though, I saw a video of where the crowd was right next to the door and the doors to the Capitol building opened. And like the crowd walks in, and then like the guy he's recording, he turns to the right and the left, there's guards just standing there letting him in. And I'm like,
well, I think it comes to a point. Also, they might have let him in just to have an issue, just to cause like, oh, look, all these Trump people, they're all bad, they're whatever. And if you lump
that means that there's an inside job.
If you lump them all in, well, yeah, I mean, you could say that those cops were for Trump and they're like, hey, let's stop this vote or whatever, and open them up. Or you can say the Democrats let him in so they can have fuel for the fire or whatever.
There's so much stuff. All right, Chase.
All right. This has been the Video Games and Nonsense podcast with Chase Carter and
Raymond. What?
We appreciate you guys for watching. Hopefully we didn't lose you with that 5 minutes of destabilization where I don't know if we'll even get kicked off of YouTube.
Got to be aware of it. We got to be aware of it.
Got to be aware. And Ray's going to save you from it. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.
Stay in my apartment when this shit goes South.
Yeah. Tomorrow, when everything's gonna break, everything's gonna go crazy.
No, it's probably maybe in the next 5 to 7 years.
5 to.
That we still have the Constitution, we still have our rights. They have to lift the Constitution, and then
and nobody is gonna go for that. Like you
no, there will be people who go for that. There will be.
Yes. Well, unless there's a catastrophe or whatever, but go to work.
That's what they say. They say, oh no, we need to take away your rights because it's for your own good. Trust the government. We know what we're talking about. There's already people that do it now.
Yeah.
The masks work. I was standing in the cold with my mask on. I saw my breath through the mask. Oh, so it doesn't work. Oh, crazy. All right, I'll see you guys later.
Okay, don't get off the Zencastr thing, you fuck.
I remember 20 years ago, I was standing in that